I have to be honest with you. If I see the word personalization on one more slide deck
Mm-hmm.
or hear it in one more keynote speech, I think I might actually scream. It feels like it has been the next big thing in marketing since, I don't know, the invention of email. It's this perennial buzzword. Everyone promises it. Everyone says you have to do it. But as a consumer, it usually just feels like slightly more accurate spam.
That is the cynicism we need. And honestly, you are absolutely right to be skeptical. For the last 10 years, personalization mostly just meant a script that pasted your first name into a subject line. It
Yeah.
was a parlor trick.
Exactly. Hey, first name, buy this toaster. And I don't even like toast.
Right. But here's why we're talking about it today. We are looking at a stack of research, specifically focusing on the landscape leading into 2026. And, well, the data suggests the parlor trick era is dead. We're deep diving into the State of Marketing 2025 report by HubSpot, along with the source titled Personalization 2026, Driving Revenue with Data and AI. And the headline isn't that personalization is, nice to have anymore.
No, because for a long time it really felt like a luxury, something only the huge tech giants could really pull off.
Not anymore. The headline is that the debate is over. We've moved from does this work
Yeah.
to how do we survive if we don't do it? The stats we're looking at today claim that 96% of marketers now say personalization drives actual revenue,
Whoa.
not just engagement, not just clicks revenue.
96% is a suspiciously high number. That's effectively everyone.
It is.
So our mission today is to figure out if that number is real or if it's just marketers high-fiving each other. We need to unpack this shift from mass marketing to this new concept of hyper-personalization. And I really want to understand the how, because if everyone says it works, why does my inbox still look like a graveyard of bad ideas?
That is the billion-dollar question. And the answer, I think, lies in how we define the term.
Okay, so let's start there. Definitions. Because I think the definition has shifted under our feet. When I complain about personalization, I'm thinking about those emails that pretend to be my friend. Or, retargeting ads that show me a pair of shoes I bought 3 weeks ago. That is personalization, technically, isn't it?
The sources would argue, no, that is just bad automation.
Mm.
The State of Marketing report draws a really hard line here. They define true personalization not as inserting identity, but as leveraging context.
Leveraging context. Okay, unpack that, because identity seems pretty straightforward, knowing who I am.
Identity is knowing your name is Dave. Identity is static. Context is knowing that you, Dave, just spent 20 minutes reading an article about enterprise security software, and you did it on a mobile device at 7:00 p.m. on a Tuesday.
Ah.
True personalization uses that behavioral data to deliver an experience that hits 3 marks. Right person, right time, right channel.
Okay, but isn't right person, right time just the holy grail we've always chased? I mean, marketers have been saying that since the Mad Men era. What's different now?
The difference is the granularity and the speed. And the source busts a huge myth here. Most people think personalization means, manually creating 1,000 different versions of a newsletter. Like, here is the version for CFOs in New York, and here's the version for CTOs in London.
Which is impossible. Nobody has the headcount for that. You'd need an army of copywriters.
Exactly. That's the old way. That's the bottleneck. The other big myth is that personalization just means letting ChatGPT write a generic email for you and putting a name on it.
Right.
The reality of 2026 is that personalization is about decision-making.
Yeah.
It's not about the text, it's about the logic. It's using data to decide what to show someone.
So AI isn't necessarily the copywriter. AI is the traffic controller.
That is a perfect analogy. AI is the traffic controller directing the right asset to the right user based on a massive set of data points that a human simply couldn't process. It's looking at thousands of variables instantly to say, this person needs this white paper, not that video.
I like that distinction. It moves it away from content creation to content intelligence. But let's go back to that 96% number.
Sure.
96% of marketers say this drives revenue. I want to play devil's advocate. Is this just because we have better tracking now, or is consumer behavior actually changing? Because I feel like my attention span is shorter than ever.
It's the consumer. The report is very clear on this. The mass communication era is dead because the consumer killed it. I mean, think about your own patience level. If you log into a streaming service, let's say Netflix, and it recommends a bunch of movies you hate, do you think, oh, well, they tried?
No, I think the platform is broken. I actually get annoyed. I'm paying for this. You should know me.
Exactly. You interpret a lack of personalization as a product failure, and that expectation has now bled over into everything. B2B, B2C, it doesn't matter. If a brand treats you like a stranger after you've bought from them 3 times, you don't just ignore it. You trust them less.
It feels like amnesia, like walking into your local coffee shop where you go every day and they ask, "What's your name again?" every single morning. Eventually, you stop going.
Perfectly put. And that amnesia costs money. The data shows that when brands eliminate that friction, when they remember you, conversion rates spike.
And we aren't talking about a 1% lift.
We are talking about double-digit increases in revenue because you are removing the mental load from the customer. You aren't forcing them to reintroduce themselves.
So the revenue comes from efficiency. You're making it easier for me to give you my money.
Precisely. You are shortening the distance between I have a problem and here's the solution.
Okay, so if the revenue case is so slam dunk, I mean, if 96% of us agree it works, why is the average experience still so mediocre?
Yeah.
Why am I still getting the cat food emails? There has to be a roadblock.
There is a massive roadblock.
Ah.
Because agreeing on the strategy is easy.
Mm-hmm.
Executing the infrastructure is a nightmare. The source identifies a specific villain in this story, and it's one you've heard of. Data silos.
Data silos, right. It sounds like boring IT jargon, but I have a feeling you're going to tell me it's destroying my business.
It is absolutely destroying the customer experience.
Yeah.
And this is the part that isn't discussed enough. Let's look at a scenario described in the report. You have a customer, let's call her Sarah.
Okay, Sarah.
The marketing team has Sarah's email and knows she opened a newsletter about a new product. Great. But the sales team, they have her phone number in a completely different CRM, and they know she's technically a lead.
Okay.
And the service team. They have a ticket open because Sarah is furious about a billing error on her last invoice.
And none of these systems are talking to each other.
Not at all.
They're all on different islands.
Zero connection. So marketing's automation sees she opened the email and triggers a buy now promo.
Well, she's fighting with the service team about a bill.
Exactly. She gets a sales pitch while she's waiting for a refund.
Oof. That isn't just bad personalization. That is brand suicide. That is how you lose a customer for life.
It's the left hand, not knowing the right hand, is punching the customer in the face. Vivid, I know, but accurate.
Yeah.
This is why the single customer view is the most critical technical hurdle. The source introduces the concept of the customer platform.
Is customer platform just a fancy rebrand for a CRM? Or is it functionally different? Because I feel like companies buy new software every year hoping it fixes the culture problem.
It is functionally different because of integration. A traditional CRM might just be for sales. A customer platform centralizes data from every touchpoint, marketing, sales, content, service, website activity. It creates one golden record of Sarah.
So when I look at Sarah's profile, I see the billing complaint and the email open.
Real time. And the report notes a massive confidence gap. Marketers who have a unified customer platform are significantly more confident in their ability to drive revenue. Those who don't are just guessing. They're driving blind.
That makes sense. It's hard to be confident when you only see, 30% of the picture.
Exactly.
So step 1 is clean up the house, connect the data, get the silos talking.
Correct.
Once we have that, once we have this golden record, how does AI change the game? Because you mentioned earlier that AI isn't just writing the emails. We're talking about hyper-personalization now.
Right. This is the shift from segmented personalization to hyper-personalization. And this is where we jump to the 2026 standard.
What's the distinction? Because segmentation is, marketing 101.
Segmented personalization is all males under 30 living in Chicago get email A. That's a bucket.
Yeah.
You're treating people as groups. It's better than mass marketing, but it's still broad.
Okay, it's painting with a slightly smaller brush.
Hyper-personalization is Dave, who just visited the pricing page,
Yeah.
usually opens emails on Tuesdays, gets this specific case study right now. It treats you as a segment of one.
But how does that scale? You can't have a human making that decision for every single day. That's millions of decisions a day.
That is where the AI comes in. We're talking about predictive AI. The AI analyzes the behavioral signals in real time. It sees you lingering on a web page, it looks at your history, and it predicts what is the single most relevant piece of content for Dave right now.
It's almost predicting my intent before I even click.
Yes. And the results are, well, they're staggering. There's a stat from HubSpot's demand generation team in here that stopped me in my tracks. They switched from broad segments to AI-driven individual targeting.
Yeah.
He saw an 82% increase in conversion rate.
82%? Okay, hold on. That sounds inflated. How do they even measure that? Was the baseline just terrible to begin with?
It's a fair question. The baseline was standard best practice segmentation. The jump to 82% came because they stopped guessing. Instead of sending what they wanted to sell, they used AI to send what the user demonstrated they wanted to see.
Hmm.
It's the difference between shouting at a crowd and having a whisper conversation with one person.
So the AI is basically looking at the patterns that are too complex for us to see. It sees that I click pricing 3 times, so it sends me a discount code, whereas someone else who clicked about us gets the founder's story.
Exactly. But, and I feel like I have to be the buzzkill here, garbage in, garbage out.
There's always a catch.
That is the crucial caveat. If you plug a high-powered AI into those data silos we talked about earlier,
Yeah.
it will just make bad decisions faster.
It'll just automate the punch in the face.
Exactly. You cannot buy the fancy AI roof if the house has no walls. The customer platform is the prerequisite for the AI magic.
I want to make this tangible for the listener. We've talked high-level strategy. We've talked about the villain silos. What does this actually look like on a Tuesday morning when I'm running a campaign? Let's talk channels. Start with the website. Websites are usually static billboards.
Right.
Everyone sees the same homepage. How does hyper-personalization change that?
Think about smart content. Let's say you run a software company selling to different industries. If a visitor arrives from a known healthcare IP address, or if they've clicked on healthcare ads before, the hero image on your homepage shouldn't be a generic office building. It should be a doctor using an iPad.
Visual cues.
Visual cues and text cues. If the data shows I'm a returning customer, don't show me a start free trial button. I already have a trial.
That drives me crazy. Join now. I joined 3 years ago.
Right. Show me a login button or a talk to an expert button. The website should adapt to my stage in the journey. The report shows this drastically lowers bounce rates because the site feels relevant immediately. You aren't forcing the user to dig.
Okay, what about email? Beyond the hi, Dave, because email feels like the channel that is easiest to mess up.
The big shift here is usage-based triggers. So let's say you sign up for an app, maybe a fitness tracker, but you never upload your profile picture. A dumb automation sends you a generic welcome email.
Right.
A hyper-personalized automation sees that specific missing step in your data.
So it sends me a nudge.
It says a helpful guide. Hey, looking to get started. Here's how to upload your photo in 30 seconds. It's helpful, not salesy. And it arrives at the time of day you usually log in.
That's a key point, helpfulness. It feels less like marketing and more like customer support.
That is the line blurring.
Yeah.
Marketing, sales, and support are becoming one continuous conversation.
One more, chatbots. I hate chatbots. They're usually just glorified FAQ pages that don't understand me. Did you mean? No, I didn't mean that.
We all hate dumb chatbots.
Yeah.
But a chatbot connected to a customer platform is different. Imagine a bot that knows you bought a camera last week. When you type help, it doesn't say, what is your order number? It says, hi Dave, are you having trouble with the Nikon you bought on Tuesday?
Okay. That changes the dynamic completely. It saves me time. It anticipates the problem.
And then it pivots to sales, but helpful sales.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, that camera has a lens on sale today. That is context-aware selling. It's helpful and profitable.
It sounds great, but I'm putting myself in the shoes of a business owner listening to this. They're thinking, okay, I need to do this. But how do they know if it's working? Because engagement feels fluffy. Likes don't pay the rent.
The report warns heavily against vanity metrics. Open rates, for example, are becoming unreliable due to privacy changes like Apple's mail protection.
You can't trust them.
You can't trust them anymore.
So what do we trust? What are the hard numbers that I can take to the CFO?
You need to look at business impact. The top KPI is revenue per customer. Are the people receiving personalized experiences spending more than the ones who aren't?
That's the bottom line.
The second is customer lifetime value, CLV. If personalization works, retention goes up. Customers stay longer. If you see churn dropping, your personalization is working.
Because people don't leave relationships where they feel understood.
Exactly. And finally, conversion rate. Not just clicks, but completed actions. If that 82% lift we talked about earlier isn't showing up in your sales figures, your personalization might just be annoying people.
So retention is a metric of personalization.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Maybe the most important one. If the experience feels personal and valuable, you don't leave. If it feels generic and cold, you leave the second you see a cheaper price. The bottom line from the report is that personalization must be linked to business results, not just brand feelings.
brand feelings don't show up on the P&L statement.
They do not.
So we've covered a lot, from the death of mass marketing to the rise of the data silo villain to the AI solution. It feels like a massive undertaking. It feels like rebuilding the engine while the car is driving.
It is. The source concludes by saying this is a long-term investment. You don't flip a switch on Monday and have hyper-personalization on Tuesday.
It's a marathon.
But the brands that win in 2026, the ones that will dominate, are following a formula. One, they centralize, they build that customer platform so everyone sees the same truth. Two, they analyze, they use AI to find the patterns no human could see. And three, they humanize.
Humanize. That sounds contradictory.
This is the paradox. We are using machines, AI, algorithms, data to be more human.
I like that. Using robots to stop acting like robots.
Exactly. And I want to leave the listener with this thought. We are entering an AI-first world. In a few years, every competitor you have will have the same AI tools. The technology will be a commodity. You can't win just by having the software.
So where is the edge? If everyone has the same hammer, how do you build a better house?
The edge is the empathy. The edge is the depth of human understanding you feed into that system. Are you using AI to fake a relationship, to pretend you care so you can extract a dollar? Or are you using AI to facilitate a real relationship based on truth? Are you using it to actually solve the customer's problem before they even ask? That intent, that why, is something an algorithm can't invent. That has to come from you.
That is a powerful place to land. The tech is just the vehicle. The empathy is the fuel.
Better fuel, better journey.
All right. That is a lot to chew on. If your data is still living in 3 different spreadsheets, it might be time to call your IT team. Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you on the next one.